This is Jamie Lawlor.
This is Alan Fitzpatrick.
And this is FSM RX'd.
Hey guys, welcome to FSM RX'd, and I'm here with Jamie Lawlor and Alan Fitzpatrick, co-organisers of the Filthy 150, if Ireland's biggest two-day team event, and Jamie's also owner and head coach of CrossFit Swords, and Alan is owner and head coach of CrossFit Navan, and also just become a CrossFit athlete, which is impressive in its own right.
Thanks very much.
So guys, welcome to thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
So for a lot of people that, well actually most people know you now. Was it you kind of, hey, I need someone to help me out with the competition, or were you just sitting out, we should do something as a team event? How did it all start?
How did it start?
Well, I think we were both going to CrossFit competitions all the time.
Yeah.
And we were having conversation all the time saying, like, these events are good, but we think we could do it better.
Yeah.
Basically. So we were seeing a few things. One thing we were seeing was that they were not great to watch, because there was these long AMRAPs that we couldn't really follow, and at the end of it, it's just there was a result. That was the first thing. And then there was just things like we had experienced ourselves in running events, so we thought organisationally we could probably put together something that runs smoothly as well.
Yeah.
So we said we'd give it a go. So we just started looking at different ideas then, and we said we want to do something that's slightly different than what's out there.
Yeah.
Because we were seeing events that were being participated by like a handful of athletes, like the same 30 at each
to the
event.
same event each time, yeah.
So and we were seeing CrossFit gyms with a whole community of people who were all competing with each other every day. So we said it'd be nice if we could get like a whole box to come along and compete with each other, and there's a place for everyone at every level. So that's where it started from.
Yeah, I think we had a relationship with a few other box owners very early days. Like back then, there was like the start of any kind of sport, and there's always this kind of elitism and kind of advanced athlete kind of who uptake it first, and there's this perception that people can't do it on their own level. I did triathlon for years, and that was the same with triathlon for a long time. So that's kind of where I was coming from. But we had a relationship with a couple of box owners. We had met like Neil up in Letterkenny, for example. We both worked with him in Dublin, and we just had been around a couple of boxes. That was kind of the start of our networking and building relationships with everyone in the country. So we just set it to, well, we had our own boxes, and then we set it to 4 other guys. I think I was on a holiday down the country, and I dropped into CrossFit Kilkenny and mentioned to Ian down there, and we'd been in Mallow, and we went down to, who else was it? Bray.
Fucking hell. Very, like, we're best buddies. Know each other so well.
Back in the CrossFit Bray days, am I allowed to say that? But I remember,
looking fuck.
was it myself, Donna, and a couple of other Navan heads popped up one afternoon for a WOD.
The 2 clients that were there from my gym were hung over the bits.
Right.
And it was ridiculous, because no one wanted to train.
Was it a Saturday or was it a weekday?
It was a weekday, yeah. It was a weekday. Which is worse, because we were hungover.
Welcome to Holiday Town Bray, hungover on a weekday. So that was year one. And
that was like, for what it was in Navan, we didn't know what was that gigantic machine behind everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, what is this? What is this? Is that in your gym? I was like, yeah. You hadn't.
No, that wasn't even my gym. Like Jamie was in a very small place up in Airside in Swords.
Yeah.
And then I was in a smaller place in Navan. I just had like a room. It's probably twice the size of this room. Didn't even have any height for anything, you know. And luckily the landlord was kind of behind our gym. He had a couple of sections, and one section I said, look, can you just give us a loan of this section today? So we got a loan of a rig, and he pushed all the furnishings all the way up, and that giant big green machine in the corner was a wood cutting device. That never got used. But we literally
doubled as a stand.
Everyone stands on it.
Doubled as tiered standing until the landlord came in and started screaming at everyone to come down. But it was we just had a loan of that for the day, and it just worked. Do you know what I mean? It just really worked. You know, it was really good.
It was an amazing event, and our guys loved it. And obviously, then we tried. I know went disastrously wrong, the burpee thing at the end.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day. The world record burpee attempt or something.
Oh, shocking. You started even on the floor. Never to be repeated. So then second year was in Swords, and you'd moved to new venue. In Swords, 7,000 square foot.
6,000 square foot.
And that was like from what it was with 6 teams into how many teams in year 2?
It was 75.
75 teams in year 2, and you had a second warehouse as a chill out zone, and
so next door came free, so it was another 6,000 square foot of space that we said we could get the whole place filled up. So we had 300 athletes in year 2, so it was a huge jump. And like year 1, if you remember, there was an individual section. So we said we get rid of that and we just go teams. So we decided that's what we do. It's 150 men, 150 women.
Which worked out better, I think, because if you tried to do individuals and the teams again,
that was the best move we ever made.
We just felt there was a lot of people doing individual stuff already. And
there's nothing new in an individuals, like everyone like individual competitions. Team competitions are.
I suppose we wanted the team thing to be our kind of stamp, our 5150 stamp.
And it does mean, I think beginners especially are much more comfortable competing with their friends than just all the pressure on them. So it just makes the whole thing more inclusive.
And then so after Filter 150 and Swords, then it was the National Basketball Ring. And that was a huge spectacle. Like, it was impressive to walk into. It was like the audience, we had 6 teams there ourselves. Our guys had a great time the weekend. It was, from the outside looking in, a very good success. But I know, obviously, because you ran it, you would have seen the flaws or the things you can improve on going forward. So how was it like for you two at the, when you sat down, obviously not on Monday, probably during the week when you weren't as hungover?
It kind of took a week or two to really soak it all up, and I went from being in a lot of gyms and talking to a lot of people to being at home and not talking to anyone. So when I get out again and start talking to people, the feedback form that we got, the response was just amazing. Everyone was like, it was just an amazing buzz. I really enjoyed it. Well done. It was so well organised. That was the general feedback you got. For us on the day, it was impossible to I suppose enjoy it. Or take it all in.
Constantly, these are going from one thing to
you're just trying to firefight and keep things going. It's very stressful organising an event, but it was very rewarding at the same time. There are a lot of things that what everyone does is a bit like CrossFit. You always look at your weakness and you're always trying to fix that. So we looked at things that we can do better for next year, and things that went very well. And we were aware of all that, So.
Like we learned a lot of lessons from year 2 to year 3. And we fixed a lot of them, which we were happy about. But then there was things we just couldn't see coming, because of the size of it. It was just huge. 800 athletes through a competition over 2 days. It's like the whole machine of it. Once it slows down, just getting it back going again. We just didn't see some things. So again, we'll take learnings from this year. Hopefully make it again much better next year.
And you would have seen a lot more than what we like. The only thing I would have kind of seen, the biggest kind of stop in time wise, was one point nearly on the Sunday the timer went. The timer went off because I just know because I was in the pen going, fuck, I gotta take a piss. Get out in time. Are they gonna start the clock? I don't know.
The clock was just a bit clunky and slow and old. But one thing that we didn't get, we did 2 years in a row, was we didn't have bloody stopwatches for the judges. We were looking at every Argos possible on a Friday night, and we ended up with only a handful of stopwatches. So that would have fixed the problem. But they're things that you learn, as McGregor will say, you either win or you learn.
Fair enough. It's a good point.
But like this year compared to last year, like there's an element of safety and reduced risk when it's in your own box.
Yeah.
Like year 1 was in my box, year 2 was in Jamie's box. This year was the big jump.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we did everything possible to calculate it down to the minute, prepare, and for most of it went really well, and there were some things that didn't go so well. But like that, we've learned them, and we know like next year, I think it'll just be a lot smoother.
Yeah. And I know 2016, there's no real. I know there's going to be a Filthy 150. And you're still looking at different venues, and you're still looking at like kind of what changes these might make. So for you to obviously taking away what happened in November, the end of October for the Filthy 150, every year you've made it grander. So next year, is it going to be something along the same? Like obviously you want to make it like I think the National Arena was the biggest spectacle for you. Like it was literally this is up there with Battle of London, like the venue, the atmosphere, the size of the rig, the equipment, everything was just huge, grand scale.
Well, I think you reach a point where bigger is no longer better.
Yeah.
So I think we've reached a point where we know what size it can be.
Yeah.
And now it's to take that size, try and get everybody involved like this year, and even more so if possible, and then make the event even better than it was this year. That's the aim. That would be success, I think, next year. Yeah.
Brilliant. So with the Filthy 150, I said 3 years, going to 4 years. The question: are you ever going to allow? Because I know you did qualifiers this year and stuff. Would you be letting international teams come and try and get themselves into the competition, or is this always going to be a national event, or is that even something he's even thought of?
Well, we discussed it. Yeah, we discussed it. Going from the last year to this year.
Yeah.
Discussed it.
I think we've discussed it every year. At some point, and then
I think last year to this year was a big one because we were going big, and then we kind of just said no.
Yeah.
Really, we just said no.
Because I don't know if it wasn't like you didn't have demand.
No.
We weren't trying to make a big competition. We were just trying to make an event that everyone could get involved in.
Yeah.
Because we know that there's people up and down the country who want to get involved in the main event of the year.
Yeah.
And if we can build a competition that has space for everybody to get into, and it just it got bigger than we thought it was going to get.
Yeah, because we
year.
originally just had 150 teams this year, and then sold out in a minute, and then we jumped up to 200, and then kind of jigged the competition a little to suit. So you can see the demand was there was huge. Like even without one team from outside of Ireland, and we realised that fairly quickly. From going around the boxes and talking to people and surveying and so on, and that was always the attraction. It was always, and that's the attraction of I suppose CrossFit competitions. It's like people will go. I said it to so many people. People will go and watch beginner Mary from their gym. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Rather than watch Helga from Iceland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's only an hour down the road or whatever, you know what I mean? So you'll get more involvement and you'll get more spectators and be more of a community thing than having international athletes,
So moving off from the topic of the Filthy 150, obviously you have that. You have another competition coming up, the Celtic Cup.
Yes.
So that's a new thing, and that's starting off. It's April, May.
The event is.
Should have really got that, didn't I? April, May.
The event is April the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit more about that, because we've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook for other people. So it's a team of 3 this time.
Yeah, teams of 3. You need a minimum of 1 man and 1 woman.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams might end up 2 men and 1 woman, but it's up to gyms to decide. And the workouts, there's going to be qualifiers in this one, and the top teams will go to the finals. So the workouts, I've pretty much picked a lot of popular CrossFit workouts, like girls and regionals and games and stuff, and kind of turned them into a team format. So it becomes very, very fast. So the top teams will qualify. It's a Celtic Cup, so I've divided. the Celtic nations. If anyone Googles it, there's 6 Celtic nations. Into kind of 9 regions, so you've got Leinster, Ulster, Munster, Connacht, Scotland, Wales, Brittany, Cornwall, and a certain number of teams will qualify from each guaranteed, but it's essentially the top 80 teams will go. And then the finals will be, I haven't seen anything like it in the world, but basically a knockout. So there'll be, and what it does then, it turns, there'll be 8 waves of 10, let's say, to start, and then the top 5 teams across the line will get through to the next round.
So the World Cup kind of
format,
like it's knockout workout.
Yeah, there will be a couple of back doors, so everyone will get at least between 2 and 5 wads on a day. But what it does is it turns every wave into an actual race. Because a lot of times if there's a lot of waves, you have to wait a little while after to get the scores and so on, and you know, people could be lucky. You could get all the really top teams in the one wave, knock each other out. You could get a wad in a certain wave that really suits you over another team.
So you're just going to put everything into a hat and just pick it out in a day. It's not going to be, well, let's pair.
No,
the way they do in tennis, and they see the best with the worst.
No, it's going to be random. It's going to be 80 teams. They'll all be picked out of a hat. I'll do it live next year. And what I'll do is I'll release all the final workouts. So there'll be 7 wads overall in the final. 2 of them will be like losers wads. So I'm gonna release 9 or 10 workouts. The spectators get to vote for what they want to see in the final, so that'll be set. And then the other 6 will be just randomly picked out of a hat. So everyone will know in advance what's coming, but not in what order or what wad or whatever, or who's going to be in the wave with them. So it gives everyone a chance, you know, because. There's a lot of teams out there that will be, you know, over the course of a 2-day event or a 1-day event, and there's X amount of wads. They'll usually end up on top, but the team maybe in the middle or a bit further down, they now have a chance as well. You know, so it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit of a risk, but that's me.
That's a different concept on a competition, and it gives a little bit more kind of atmosphere to it as well, because anything can happen. Like if you're the best team and you fuck up a rope climb or a muscle up and you're off, and the guy behind you gets that extra rep, like that's where then your team's knocked out, you're gone. Like you don't get to go into the next workout and catch up and beat them. It's just like you're fucked. So no mistakes, like pretty much.
So it's gonna be exciting.
I'm not entering.
High pressure stuff.
I retired at the Filthy 150 match this year.
But if you get it, you know, if you get a good draw and you get the wads that suit you, well, then you've got a good chance, you know, in any of the races, you know. So I'm hoping it'll be a success. So when this goes out, the qualifiers will still be on, and entries will. Is that 20? No. And entries will close on the 26th of January.
Close the 26th of January. Okay guys, we're going to take a quick break. So that's part 1 where we've talked about competitions. When we come back with our second show, we're going to be talking about Alan's new website, Caffeine, Lifting for Lucy, and kind of what's coming for CrossFit Navan and Swords in 2016. Alright. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the show, head over to our YouTube channel, click the subscribe button, and you can get all the latest information from FSM, FSM RX'd, and our Q&A show, Coffee Topics. Follow us on Instagram, where you can find the daily goings on of all our members, coaches and athletes, and see what we're getting up to. And head over to Facebook, FSM Bray, give us a like and a share, leave a 5-star review, and you'll get all the latest information on our upcoming events and shows coming your way.